Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new store, brick and mortar store that Shein just opened on November 10th of this year. If you're new here, make sure you like and subscribe and go follow me on Instagram. It's going to be a shorter video than usual. It's just a very brief, what's happening with Shein and just the impact of it. So make sure you subscribe, right now. Okay. So I've already talked about Shein and its impact and how bad the labor abuse is and just the impact it has on the environment, just the overall overconsumption of everything and how it inhibits that, especially with Gen Z. If you don't know what Shein is, it's basically an e-commerce. Well, now it's not just e-commerce anymore because it has a brick and mortar store. It's had previous pop-ups in various malls, I believe, and some Dallas and random places wherever. Basically, the reason why it's doing so well, and I feel like a lot of people tell me this too, is that they have a lot of inclusive sizes, which is something you can't really find in a lot of brands, even though it's gotten better. Especially mid-size to plus-size people often feel like if they do have the sizes, they're often not cute and trendy clothes, and it's hard for people, especially in those sizes, to find cute things that are on trend and that don't look like grandma wear. It's boomed, especially within the quarantine and everyone having that stimulus money and influencers getting just tons and tons of Shein product, and especially celebrities as well. Especially, it's just weird that celebrities can afford better quality clothing but choose to do that because it's a brand deal. And apparently it's Gen Z loves it because it's obviously very cheap. They upload at least 6,000 new items per day, and Gen Z doesn't have a lot of money, so of course we can gravitate towards something that doesn't cost a lot, which they must have money since I'm seeing $500 Shein hauls for people that are my age. I think Shein knows that they kind of have a monopoly over plus size, mid-size range of clothing, and they know that they kind of control this, and that's what really brings people in, because it's one, people can find their size, and two, it's affordable. And obviously this economy, people aren't really buying clothes, at least higher end clothes, as much as they used to, and are trying to find any way that they could save money. Shein has even started a beauty line, Shein makeup or whatever it's called. I can't be bothered to look at it. But they now switched over from e-commerce to an actual brick and mortar store, and they decided to have their first permanent brick and mortar store in Harajuku, Japan. Harajuku is not only a place, but it's also a Japanese style, and I feel a lot of people in the US know Harajuku from Gwen Stefani and her Harajuku dolls, which is a completely different video. It's kind of comparable to LA's fashion district or New York's Soho, just basically anywhere where there's a lot of trendy young people hang out or whatever. Harajuku is known for its cosplay shops, vintage clothing stores, trendy shops for the youth, basically just a very, very fashionable, trending place to go to. There's boba tea stores, fancy dessert places to eat, etc. Harajuku, people who partake in Harajuku fashion are probably easy to spot, and if you don't know what Harajuku is, just think of Fruits Magazine. If you don't know what Fruits Magazine, just think of Gen Z, but a lot more eccentric. This Harajuku style is a mix of the well-known Japanese soap styles, for example, Sweet Lolita, Gothic Lolita, Visual Kei or Kai, cosplay, decora, gyaru, cutesy fairy kai, and punk rock clothing. Traditional Japanese garments like kimonos and wooden sandals have been infused into the style since the beginning. Harajuku's basically just young, trendy people, whatever the young people in Japan like to wear. But I'm not the expert on Harajuku. I will link a video to someone that is. I think her name's Cybergirl, and there's different Harajuku sub-styles, if I'm getting that correct. Shein decides to open up its permanent store, Harajuku, and this is a major problem. Shein has now become the ultra fast fashion, super fast fashion. It's a new term now because they're producing so many things every day. I'm gonna read part of an article from High Snobbity. Of course, Shein, the pop-up TikToks are going up on TikTok, and it's the pop-up in Osaka. This Harajuku's relevance in the legacy of Japanese fashion has by now been dissected to death, especially with the spread of social media. There's no one singular piece to experience Japanese clothing culture, nor is there a singular place that stylish people gather. It's everywhere. And I feel this is so true because it's like now everything, like nothing's really unique anymore. Everything kind of looks the same. Since its heyday in the 90s, Harajuku has lost much of its famous verve, but still has plenty of local stores peddling cheap wares for the fast fashion crowd. In fact, Shein Tokyo is right down the street from the local All Saints. Shows a TikTok of Shein. Shein's store won't actually sell any of its unsustainable clothing though. There will be plenty of extraordinarily cheap women's wear, menswear, accessories, beauty products, pet supplies, and home goods, but customers will only be able to buy them through the Shein app, which they can access by scanning attached QR codes. So I guess it's just basically kind of like a showroom for people to look at the clothes before they buy it, which obviously you can't do that when you're buying only online, which has been like something that people have said, like, oh, you don't really know what you're getting when you buy from Shein and it comes in the mail and it's like completely different or looks different or it's like super cheap. But I mean, like, says it's a bizarre plan for a company that's built its bones on instant gratification shop, which is true. It's like, why would they want to do a brick and mortar store? Like, people already like just buying it without seeing it. And of course there's a bunch of ads about it with celebrities wearing Shein. Still, the schemes proves profitable, except Shein stores expects Shein stores to slowly pop up across the globe, except perhaps for China, though it's based in Nanjing. Shein doesn't really sell much domestically. America is its biggest client base. The estimated annual revenue of $60 million in 2021, Shein is making money either way, despite frequent reports about the heinous working conditions inside its partner factories. Every single time Shein claims to not know of, or they're like, we're against this, which honestly they don't care. And there's this one tweet I want to read. It says, the way that Shein is making 3 of the most polluting fast fashion brands look insignificant is utterly terrifying. And if you look at the chart, Shein's the orange one, and then it's Boohoo, then it's Zara, then it's H&M. Like, these are other fast fashion, but this is like comparable, and this is why Shein is ultra fast fashion. One report published in mid-October by Britain's Channel 4 went viral for asserting that Shein workers were forced to work 18-hour days, making about $3.50 for each piece of clothing they produced. Shein, for its part, refuted the report, which also claimed that workers prohibited from taking more than 1 day off per month were washing their hair in the factory bathrooms to save time. And this is what I mentioned in my other video about how the worker environment is like literally slave labor. Remember that Shein is famously obtuse about its inner workings, though, and that fast fashion can only exist within an inherently exploitive system. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I can't find the tweet where it said it, but like people are like, Shein saying like, oh, it's reminding you of your favorite brand. If you look at the photo booth, it's like their photo op for like Instagram to tag them. It looks just like Chanel shopping bag. They're really trying to be like, we're up there with Chanel. It says it's decorated mostly in gray tones, located in Cat Street, an alley that runs between Harajuku and Shibuya, and is a haven of culture and fashion. The 200 square meter venue has 3 changing rooms and a photo booth for shoppers to capture their outfit. I just don't understand the whole QR code thing. If it's a brick and mortar, like, that kind of defeats the purpose to me. They know they're not going to lose money either way. According to this Bloomberg article, it says Shein's outlook is looking increasingly shaky. Its valuation had dropped by about $30 billion by July, and concerns its rapid sales growth was stalling, and as the company faces growing criticism over environmental, social, and governance record practices, including worker exploitation and copyright theft. The company is now looking to diversify into more expensive products, rolling out a premium line of fashion called MOTF. Image as a low-price retailer is deeply rooted. It's also pushing to get its products on U.S. doorsteps faster by establishing distribution centers in the Midwest and California, a significant shift from its practice of shipping individual orders directly from overseas, and has told existing investors that it hopes to have an IPO in the U.S. suburb. The reason why this is concerning, because one, Shein is literally still booming, and even though I know it says that it kind of stalling, whatever, and I hope that's like the beginning of making it just not ultra fast fashion, and it's so bad that we have to get it to the point where it's not ultra fast fashion and just fast fashion. The fact that it located itself in Harajuku, it's just prone to have Shein steal from small businesses and small designers that are already have been suffering since the pandemic and have barely started to reopen. And of course, their products aren't going to be as cheap as Shein, because I'm assuming they make it their own and they have to do everything a small business does compared to a mega corporation like Shein that can just easily steal and take art. They are notorious for stealing from small artists and having no repercussions, because obviously the small artist business brands don't have enough money to sue them, though they get away with it. Also, it's just increasing like worker conditions and just the pollution that it causes. It's just really, really bad, and it's the thing that people still will buy so much. And there's over 100 people waiting outside the Shein pop-up store to see it open, and of course people are buying stuff from there. And it's just like, people know about the working conditions, know about the pollution, how bad it's it's for an environment, but will do anything for, you know, that $5 t-shirt or something. You're just gonna wear one. At this point, it's like the consumer's decision to put where their money is, because it's not my money in someone else's pocket, it's their money. As the same, it's my money in my pocket. I'm gonna choose what I do with it, and I choose not to support Shein. But obviously Gen Z, I feel, has a lot to do with this, and I'm not saying it's entirely their fault, our fault, but it's just weird, like the dichotomy of Gen Z, the ones that just are like super sustainable and just all about thrifting and sustainability and all these charitable organizations and activism. But then there's like the ones that are just TikTok. Like, that's all I can say, is just they're just TikTok, and that's all they know how to think and consume. But yeah, what do you guys think? I think this is the end of this video. Make sure to check out the other video. It will be linked in the description, and make sure you follow me on all my socials, and see you guys next time. Bye.